introduce to you the man of the hour,
Tony.
Hello and welcome back to At the Gates. This is Tony. I am a host, maybe your host, if you are listening to this. And if you choose that I am your real host, maybe hashtag not my host and put down who you want to host. I don't care. Today is the 4th of July, and I am not at Target Field. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, at Busch Stadium. First time here, should be very interesting. It is a day game, 1:15 start time. No BP, I'm guessing. Rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. Really wanted to see if I can get one of those special 4th of July balls to complete all 4 commemoratives that are used on holidays. I think I probably mentioned it before. I got the Mother's Day one on the first year, and now I'm trying to get the other 3 in their first year of use, the Father's Day, Memorial Day, and 4th of July. I have a decent seat right at the end of the dugout by the Marlins side, and first row, bringing the big glove, wearing my Marlins jersey, wearing an orange jacket. Should be sticking out quite well. Have the orange Marlins hat as well. I don't know that I can do anything more to put myself in a better position, so we'll see. Fingers crossed I can do that. And then tomorrow I will today, after the game gets done, hopefully at about 4:15 or so, drive back to O'Fallon, Illinois, which is right across the river, probably about 20 minutes away, and pick up the dog and keep going and get out to Chattanooga, where I'm going to spend the night before finally ending up in Atlanta on the 5th. So that should be rather exciting to hit up a few new stadiums. Especially I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I get to see my co-host from Ballhawk Blab, David, and we'll see. I'm hoping to pop the commemorative there as well. It's rather tough there. I know that. I think the high, David said, logged on my game balls at 6. Does not speak well to putting up big numbers, much like this stadium here. So I'm expecting my average of 8.18 to drop, but that is more than acceptable if I can cross off new stadiums and keep what streak is alive remaining. I would like to put up 4 with a game ball at each, just like every other day. But if I have to see any of those streaks end, I mean, the 4 I'd give up before the game ball, just because it's going to take a game ball to get the commemoratives from today and tomorrow. But I can't worry about that too much, and I'm saying but a lot, and I don't mean like ass. What did I do here? So yesterday pulled in probably just before 4:30 and took the dog for her walk, did that whole thing, check in, all the boring stuff. Then came back over to St. Louis and hit a record store, vintage vinyl. Pretty decent. Your typical larger vinyl store, which unfortunately isn't going to have a lot of those rare and non-discovered vinyl in its possession, but it had a lot. It was larger, and you could still find things here and there. I liked that I'm back to the Midwest prices rather than the East Coast prices. That helped a bit. All in all, picked up a few local 7 inches and a local 12 inch, as well as a couple other albums that I found. Not a ton. Like I said, it's when you're dealing with the larger stores like that, they're going to be picked through a lot more because they're going to have more foot traffic, and part of the quantity is, let me back up. part of it is quantity over quality. If it's going to be a niche little shop, it's probably not going to get as much foot traffic, which means that there's going to be probably rare records and more unique records to entice those people that do want to stop in. Whereas the larger record stores, they just deal more in quantity and kind of go with the safe bets and get a lot more foot traffic from kind of average fans or those just kind of looking to scrape the bargain bins and get those records that you can kind of find anywhere, but for cheap. So that was my review. I'll be hopefully going live with vegan vinyl, which is going to be another blog that I have where I'm going to be talking about, obviously, vegan food and vinyl. So after I went to vintage vinyl, not to be confused with vegan vinyl, the upcoming blog, I went over to Lulu's local Eatery, and it's a completely vegan store or vegan restaurant, and it was quite good. I believe that was one of the inspirations that went behind the new one in St. Paul called J. Selby's. You can kind of see some of the similarities behind the menu items and kind of the way that the ordering went. Overall, it was good. I had the, Buffalo Blue Burger, and it was really good. Unfortunately, I think I ordered tots but didn't get them, but that's actually okay because I didn't need to eat that much. I was quite full after just the burger, so blessing in disguise. Then got back, let out Evie, expecting fireworks. None really went off. Watched a little bit of the Cardinals game on TV and went to bed, got up, and now I'm here back at Busch Stadium and did a little bit of walking around the outside. Got to see some of the ballpark area. It's kind of cool because on the north side there's almost like a small city feel where it's baseball centric, and they shut down some of the streets, and that's something that I really like about a lot of the cooler stadiums, is that it's not just the stadium, but it kind of spills into the town a little bit and almost feels like it's a miniature town within a town. Target Field definitely doesn't have that. They don't really have room for that, so that's what's limiting them. But it kind of feels almost like a East Coast ballpark here in the Midwest, which kudos to the city of St. Louis and the Cardinals for putting that together. Talked to a guy who works, I think, kind of indirectly with the Cardinals. He was in charge of shutting down some of the streets, and shout out to you for giving me a free water, Mr. Man. But talked to him a little bit and just kind of went over. He asked where I was from because he saw the big glove and what I'm doing. So I told him the whole trying to go to all 30 stadiums, get baseballs at each one. Seemed pretty cool about that, and kind of gave me his helpful tips and tricks because I guess he used to work inside the stadium as well. He's like, it's unfortunate because I don't work in the stadium anymore, otherwise I could probably get you in there. And part of me was like, dang it, who can I talk to? But we talked for a while and just went over St. Louis stuff and just really talking about baseball. Then I went over to the Arch and saw that up close for the first time. I've driven through this town many times to go down to spring training, but never really stopped. So I'm glad that I finally got to see the actual town of St. Louis and do a little bit in here. Obviously, I've only scratched the surface, but from what I see, I like it. You can definitely get into some rougher parts, but the areas that I went yesterday were more around the university area, and that was really nice. It kind of seemed like a trendy, kind of more hipstery area, but I I enjoyed it. I felt like it was really nice. The downfall about this area is, I mean, you're further south, so between this area, Atlanta, down to Texas, this whole breadbasket of America, if you will, you're going to get the heat. You're going to get the heat and the humidity, and have some of that today. I was walking around at about 8 o'clock, and it was already making me sweat, so I'm not really looking forward to how much I'm going to sweat today. But the good news is that I can hopefully get one of the souvenir sodas that might have a refill or two, or hopefully, and just pound those because I'm going to need it. I think that's about it. I don't really have much else to add other than next time you hear me, I might be doing an update after the game. I think I'm going to try. Maybe it'll be on my way driving from the stadium back to the hotel. Who knows? Try to give you an update, but after that, the next episode, you will hear, hopefully, a somewhat familiar voice if you listen to Ball Hawk Blab. If not, go check it out now before you even start this episode, because there's probably going to be a lot of in-humor and a lot of weird references and a rapport that has been developed both on-screen and off-screen before this podcast interview. But I'm alluding to David Welch is going to be on. I mean, the David Welch. It's probably my biggest guest ever. I don't think I can go any higher. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's called the Jesus of Atlanta, and probably for good reason. So you'll hear him next, and then depending on how Tampa goes, I'm hoping to maybe Doug will actually make an appearance on this podcast. We'll see. I won't commit to it. If you know Doug, it can get, you can get talking all of a sudden and totally talk about things that you didn't plan on and have the conversation go in a way different place. But hopefully I can hit record before that happens. Otherwise, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get a word in edgewise and start the show. So that's what you have to look forward to from this trip. And I hope that I have more safe travels, that Evie gets over her vomiting and not wanting to eat, because that developed last night. She puked a little bit, didn't really want to eat dinner, and then this morning definitely didn't want to eat any of her breakfast and vomited a little bit more this morning. Too much information, but so it goes. Those are my problems, and I'm wanting to share them because she is the coolest being in my life right now. So, goodbye for right now from St. Louis, Missouri. Busch Stadium, I hope you treat me well, and we will talk to you on the other side. Post-game update. The Miami Marlins ended up winning 5-2, and it was a tough stadium. Believe the hype. Especially if there's not going to be BP, it's going to be kind of terrible, and you're going to be really kind of trying to work your magic in order to get one. And ended up with an okay day. Ended up getting 4. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. Like I said, no BP. It was tough. But all in all, it was nice to come away with one of the really good 4th of July balls. Pretty much one of the first ones to come out of play, so that was really cool. Bottom of the first inning, Martin Prado. Thank you very much, good sir. So, keep the streak of 4 going because I ended up with 4, and I keep the streak of gamers going because I ended up with that 1 4th of July ball. That is it. Onward to Atlanta. Like I said earlier, stopping in Chattanooga So I have my work cut out. I still have a little bit of a drive and a little bit of mountains too. So wish me luck. Bye.